Hello everyone, this is a wooden clock that I've made. It is the first wooden clock that I have ever made and is the first pretty serious woodworking project I've ever done. I'm kind of new to woodworking. So this is the clock number 1 by Brian Law, and I built it because the plans were free, and I built it pretty much only using a bandsaw and a drill press. And it's not really quite finished right now, but all the mechanics are pretty much finished, so I thought I'd go ahead and show you guys what I made. So this clock runs off of 12 gears plus the escapement gear and the mechanism that goes along with it. I kind of designed this clock as more of a mechanical challenge than kind of something to make beautiful. It's just sitting here in the basement, so it doesn't matter that much. But really my only goal was to get this thing ticking, not jam up, just to keep good time. Which at this point it's pretty close to keeping perfect time, and it pretty much never stops, so happy about that. Once again, I didn't really try to make this clock elegant. You can see the shapes and the gears aren't really fancy at all. They're just holes to keep it kind of light. The frame also is just rounded off, and this deviates from the plans, which call for much more elegant curves and angles for the clock. Also, which a way I varied from the plans is that instead of using metal arbors, I couldn't find that size shaft at the local hardware store, so just got some wood dowels and then used ball bearings, which theoretically should run with less resistance than metal arbors. So each set of gears runs off of 2 bearings on either end, and they're just kind of held in place with these little square blocks that I made that just pressure fit onto the dowels, and that seems to work well enough. If you look closely, you can see that this clock really isn't finished even. You can still see pencil marks all over it. It's not really stained or whatever, except for the clock face, which I stained just to try to get it to contrast the hands more, which are also quite simple in shape. But that wasn't really the goal of making this clock. So it's driven by a weight like many other wooden clocks and grandfather clocks, which also is not that elegant. It was originally intended just to be that box, but it wasn't enough weight, so I added on some cylinders with more weight on the sides. At some point I would like to just make a bigger box so it doesn't look as ugly. Also in addition to that, the length of the pendulum that the plans called for was not long enough to keep this clock ticking slow enough, so I had to add these extensions on, and you can see the oddly shaped pendulum, which I just made out of scraps from the holes in the gears, but it works, so that's I can be happy about that. So I wind this clock with just a key from the grandmother clock we have. I just squared off a dowel so that this key can fit right on and I can wind it up. And it just uses a simple ratcheting system to keep the weight from falling back down and to transfer the energy from the weight to the main gear. And so this whole project was just made on a bandsaw and a drill press, pretty much, and then a Dremel and some sandpaper to do some fine tuning. So considering that I don't have a scroll saw and I didn't really use exotic woods and wasn't really trying to make it look good, I'm pretty happy with the result, just because it works and tells good time. So this is the clock number 1 by Brian Law, and thank you for watching.